Hello, Lighthouse Church. Many of you don't know me. I imagine most of you don't, and that's the way it should be. It shows that the church has grown. Pastor Rudy has asked me to share just a few moments on this 30th anniversary. So I wanted to share with you a life verse. I'm not smart enough to have a life verse beforehand. I have a life verse looking back on my life. I see how it's been true. And my life verse is Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Don't lean on your own understanding, but instead in all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. I think I read that for years and I didn't understand what it meant. I thought it meant God will give me guidance rather than no, God, like a crooked line, will straighten it out and you look back and say, oh, God's hand was in that. So I wanted to just give you three examples of that from the Lighthouse Church. First was our leaving. Pastor Dan Bergstrom, Rudy Sheptock, and I all came out of the same church in northern New Jersey, Long Hill Chapel. I was on staff there, and at the end of the summer, I had felt like God was stirring me up and saying, "You need to leave and go elsewhere." So we did, and didn't have any takers. And so I felt like God was saying, well, if nothing by the end of the summer, you should just plan on staying and change your heart. So I called DS after DS saying, thank you, take my name off your list. And I came to the last on our list, and it was our district superintendent. For those of you who don't know, we're part of the Christian Missionary Alliance, Metropolitan District, New York City, and New Jersey area. And they said, oh, we have someone, but we had already asked them, and we thought you would be the better choice, but we need to keep our word to them. But they've just said no, that they're going to another country in Europe. And so we came down and looked at it. My wife was pregnant. We came down here in September. She gave birth in November at Cape May Courthouse. And yet all our kids are doing great. Our one lives in London, works with refugees, and her husband, they go to the original Alpha Church, lead Alpha groups. Another is involved in the second of 3 church plants, a mother of 3 kids, one who was older than they were when they came to Cape May County. Another has been overseas and is back in the States, and another is preparing to go into cross-cultural medical missions overseas. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Don't lean onto your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. When I came to the Lighthouse Church, there was someone even before me. So we said of 31 years, we could go back 32 years. And that was the pastor of what was called the Vineland Church at the time. He came down one day over to Wildwood Crest to meet a guy from his church, and he asked for a person by that first name, not knowing that there's another person at the business by the same first name. And he got linked up with this other person, and so began a year or so Bible study that they began with the pastor of the Vineland Alliance Church, which brought them into what we're called the Christian Missionary Alliance. Another thing where you can see, don't lean on your understanding, trust God, and he will make your path straight, is our location. When we came, we were meeting downstairs in the Herald newspaper building, but it wasn't furnished, it wasn't decorated, it was just a concrete floor with a crack up the center, and folding chairs. And yet I felt God leading us to say, don't lean on your understanding, shut things down for 6 months before you go public. And so even though I had 2 kids and another on the way, we stopped things and got ready because we felt having a nursery in the storage closet wouldn't be too attractive. One day I was walking around or driving around, and I went by what was then called Rick's Theaters over in the Kmart shopping mart, and went in to this guy and said on Sunday, hey, you don't have anything going on. What would it cost to rent your 2 theaters? And so we rented for the 2 theaters and had the nursery out in the lobby, and had the worship service in one side. And we were there. And then one day felt impressed to stop by a middle school and stop there and prayed. And the school board allowed us to meet there for many years. What's fascinating to me is that for many years, I went up the street from that middle school to a piece of property up the street. Now, I didn't have enough faith, as Pastor Rudy has, to believe that God would do something on a piece of land. I prayed for the other side of the street for the building. But where you are is a great example of trust in the Lord with all your heart. Don't lean on your own understanding. He has reason for you being in that school, and then he'll make things right. One other thing, one leadership change. We felt led to leave. And people said, why are you leaving? At that point, there was no evangelical, no church, over 200 in the county, and we were 180 and growing and giving. But I felt God saying, it's time to go. And if we had not gone then, Pastor Rudy was just looking, and there was a short window of time where he was looking for something. He wouldn't have linked up with you. What great things to know that as you look at your future, you back into the future with the eyes of God's faithfulness in your past. God bless you. I'm so, so, so proud of you. Wish I could be there. God bless you.